Society is trying to ban men going their own way.
And so there's this online movement, some of you may have heard of, called the Men Going Their Own Way movement. It's like a male separatist movement, basically saying, oh, screw this, I'm off, everyone hates me. Men going their own way aren't men at all.
Society is trying to ban men going their own way. Why is society trying to ban men going their own way? And how are men going their own way and men walking away going to respond to this? Watch to the end of the video to understand what the social repercussions of men going their own way is, why society is trying to ban it, and how men are going to respond to this. And spoiler alert, there's not much they can actually do. Let's just go ahead and jump right into the very first video.
In my view, is that men who are in communities, in families, who are kind of giving more than they get, that's what I think it means. That's what I think the aspiration should be. But I honestly think a lot of boys right now don't have a good answer, and so they go looking online for an answer and find some pretty bad ones, honestly.
And guys, if you want to see something, if you go to TikTok right now, you type in men going their own way, there are no search results. You search for MGTOW, there are no search results. Again, men going their own way. Search for it, there are no search results. But if you were to search for something like feminism, then wait for it, tons of search results. If you think I'm playing around and I'm just messing with you, let's type in hashtag M2. Oh, search results. But then now let's go right back and type in MGTOW once again, and boom, no search results. It has been banned everywhere on TikTok.
Young guys are doing with their time and energy. Porn, social media, video games, the beast, the false prophet, and the antichrist. That's what they're doing. Single guys in your 20s, here's what we know. 68% of guys in their 20s today are not dating a woman, not intending to date a woman, have no actual interest in a relationship with a female, and are making no movement toward marriage whatsoever.
Now think about this very carefully. The very same people that are shaming men for not being in relationships are then also saying that they're out there fornicating. It's choose one or the other, bro. You cannot say that men are out there fornicating, but then at the same time say that men have no interest in being in a relationship or even having anything to do with physical intimacy. It doesn't go hand, you need the girl to be physical intimate. Men are not not rushing over to Tijuana or to other countries so they can go for tourism and hook up with chicks. Okay, there are some guys like the passport kings who are going overseas to find wives and girlfriends and date. The vast majority of men are not becoming passport kings. The vast majority of men don't have the tenacity, determination, or the drive to become a passport king. Most men, and you guys are listening right now, you know exactly who you are. You're never going to become passport kings. You're never going to leave the United States. You don't give a damn. You are not going to travel halfway across the world to go see a woman. You're going to stay home, watch TV, play video games, if you play video games at all, because some of you don't play video games. You'd rather play with your dog than play video games, but that's enough for you. Or play your guitar, or do nothing whatsoever and just enjoy silent peace. And you're going to stay in the US, you're going to chill, and you're not going to be focused on relationships, dating, or anything else because you just want your peace. A lot of men are living that life right now. And I said, again, they know who they are. They're not going overseas. They're just going to chill. And they're living simple lives of luxury and comfort, living far below their means and not having to worry about a wife, children, or someone bringing misery or misery, pain, or suffering into your life, stress into your life. There's a lot of guys who lost everything previously when they were married. And guess what? They've rebuilt. It took them 10 years to rebuild sometimes, but they've rebuilt, and now they have everything that they lost, or they have more than ever before. And they're never going to let that happen again. So the reality is, it's not that these men are not working. These men have worked. They've rebuilt themselves. And now the fact that they don't have a woman or children to worry about, they can basically take their time and work at their own luxury, or they don't have to really work at all because, now they're making money from derivatives. They're making money from day trading. They're making money from real estate, and they don't have to they don't have a ton of mouths to feed. When you're growing up, when you're a teenager, teenagers eat a lot. And they eat a lot because they're growing. When you become an adult male, things really change. You figure out how much you really need to eat. Your appetite kind of levels off. There's some people who eat a lot, but as adults, we're able to kind of control ourselves a little better, at least some of us. And as men, when we don't have that stress to deal with, we can conserve our energy. Hence, we may not eat as much. We eat well, but we're able to focus on our nutrition a lot better. Hence, we end up eating less and saving more. It's just the honest goodness truth. Women don't know what they lost. Okay, and now society is trying to ban MGTOW because they know that men are walking away and they're not coming back, and they're like, "Oh, these men are not working." No, it's not that these men are not working. They're not working for you. They're not working for you.
And they realize, I mean, it's an overall feeling of being fed up and being taken for granted.
But there's more. According to one economist, some non-working men face a skills mismatch. A third have criminal records, making them ineligible for many jobs and making employers hesitant to hire them. And many rely on safety nets, such as disability. So you may wonder, what are these guys doing instead of work? Well, kind of what you might expect. Spending nearly 7 hours each weekday on average, relaxing, playing games, and watching TV.
Now, let's be very clear. That's none of their business. All right. See, a lot of people don't like to even see, like a lot of women don't even like watching their husbands sleep because they feel like the man should be working all the time. Work, work, work until you cannot work anymore. And then when you're gone, I'll take whatever you have left over and I'll just rinse and repeat and go find another man, or I'll divorce you and take everything that you have and then go find another man. They don't like us. These people don't like us, guys. There are women now complaining and saying that men who are 6 feet tall, men who are 6'4" are too short. Guys, if that doesn't tell you that they don't like us, this is right out of the mouse utopia, where more and more women are becoming so picky, so picky. You have women who have multiple kids, you look like, for example, and this is just being real. They want a guy who is fit, a guy who has money, a guy who has all of these characteristics, and then how do they look? They're not in shape, They may have some weight. They may have issues with weight. They may have issues with hygiene. They may have issues with a variety of different things, but they want a man who smells good, a man who looks good, a man who's tall, a man who's ambitious, a man who has lots of money, a man who has all of these things. And they'll turn around and look at these men now like, yeah, that's not good enough for me. Or he's kind of corny. Look at someone like Henry Cavill. All right. 6'6". He makes about 6 figures. Guy's worth in the tens of millions of dollars. All right. He's over 6 feet tall. He has a 6-pack. He looks like a Greek Olympian god. But because he's not in the streets, because he doesn't listen to rap music, because he is focused on his craft, making his money, built into technology, things along those lines, they think he's a nerd, he's a little boy, and they shame him. And they would lump him with the INCELs. Can you imagine being called an INCEL? Despite all you've done, you're a good guy, you're a highly educated guy, you're very well respected. You're one of the top people in your field, in the world. You're handsome, you're young, you have all of these things. But because you don't belong to the streets, they're laughing at you and calling you an INCEL and shaming you. Shame, insults, guilt, because they need to be right. And then they wonder why men are walking away. And when you have guys who go overseas, what do? They begin attacking you and shaming you overseas and trying to destroy your confidence. And then they can't understand why you're running away, why men are running away.
Something that has greatly disappointed me since I've been living here is the amount of coonery that I've seen in Tokyo. And sorry to say, but it's mainly from black men from America. The way that I have to watch y'all treat me and my fellow black sisters like shit, but treat the Japanese women all delicately like they're special flowers is insane. The amount of times that I've met black men from America who give people the N-word here is crazy. I recently went to a club and this black guy was asking me how my experience is here dating, and I was telling him, and then he was like, well, I'm in heaven here because, they like fetishize us, so they be worshiping us and doing whatever the fuck we want, so I'm in heaven. What? None? Or the black men that'll be talking to me, and then when we get done, they're like, I enjoyed the conversation, you're so cool, I love black women, I worship black women, I wish there was more in Tokyo, and then we'll go over to their Japanese girlfriend and then talk shit about us. When black American men get over here, the coonery be on 10. Y'all need to pipe down because they do not give a fuck about y'all.
This is why you should never cold approach a woman. Despite what many other female dating coaches will tell you, it's total crap. Approach is always this manifestation in your male mind that this woman, because she is so attractive, would benefit you and your life. But you have no idea if she is relationship material, if she is a rancid bitch, if you know what I'm talking. The only reason you're approaching her is because you find her attractive, and then you're going to turn around and resent her for your entire life for having that power over you. It is purely shallow, and you are already setting up a poor power dynamic within a relationship if you do end up getting in one with this girl. So take it from big sis, meet them out in the wild, through friends, maybe online. But women don't deserve cold approach.
Guys, it's the reality right now. It's 100% the reality. These women, they do not deserve cold approaches. They do not deserve men going out of their way to have a conversation with them, to court them, to say, how are you doing? They don't deserve it. These are the same women who said, leave us alone, do not approach us, do not speak to us. And then they turn around and say, why aren't men approaching them anymore? Okay? And they all think that they're like super beautiful. They think that they're on top of the world. Look at all of this. Look how beautiful I am. Guys, they have nothing else to offer. All right? Makeup has gotten to their brains. Fake up has gotten to their brains. And the funny thing is, now you have someone who are just calling them out and like letting men know and letting women know you're not that special.
How is it that I look like this today, yet no man wants me to be his girlfriend?
Is this a serious question? Because women just went from saying they rather pick a bear over a man. So why the hell would men approach you or even look in your direction? But not only that, so many women have taught men over the years that all men are predatorial, so the good men of the world gave up. And it's so funny because women will constantly say that men don't listen, but now that men are listening, y'all are wondering where the good guys are at, why they don't approach you anymore, and why men are just simply not interested. And why the hell would they be interested? They don't know if they're going to be the next subject of all men are trash content on social media. They don't know if they're going to be accused of doing something they didn't do. They don't know if they're going to be used for dates. They don't know if they're going to be manipulated and then called a narcissist. And in this particular video, she's also asking why didn't they approach her because she looks the way that she looks. But the bottom line is most women are basic. There's nothing special to them. We all look the freaking same. So yeah, you actually have to come with more than just your looks. You actually need a personality.
Guys, there's a new movie coming out called Avengers Doomsday. So it's going to be focused around Doctor Doom, one of the most iconic characters in the MCU. And the person who will be playing Doctor Doom will be none other than, round of applause. If you already haven't heard, then it's a spoiler, but not. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Robert Downey Jr. They're bringing him back to save the MCU, and you're saying, why am I discussing that in this video? It's because men have other things to focus on. Deadpool versus Wolverine just came out, and it's blowing up at the box office. All right. There's a ton of great video games on the way right now that have come out this year and are still to come. Nintendo Switch is it's like we're waiting for the Switch 2, and yet we're getting all of these amazing games like Mario RPG, thousand year door remake. And there's just so much great stuff coming. There's some guys. Men have a bunch of other things to do. There's also a bunch of classic games to replay. Men don't need to sit around worrying about women and society. And even if they ban the label MGTOW, it doesn't matter, because men are still going to keep on walking away and saying that we want to live separate lives, because women have told us to go away and have continuously pushed men out of society. And when men respond, they use sign language, shame, insult, guilt, gaslighting, because they need to be right. Guys, if you're enjoying the content on the channel, also check out our blueprint. Subscribe to our newsletter for my personal thoughts, insights, and a free copy of my ebook, The Blueprint for Escaping the Rat Race. Click the link in the description to get your free copy. Guys, we have our answer. Even though society is trying to ban men going their own way, the only implications are men will continue going their own way. Men will continue walking away. Men will continue going overseas or just isolating themselves at home and choosing to live silent and separate lives, well below their means, lives of separation, but of simplicity and luxury. And you're gonna have a lot of guys just dressing poor. If they try to put a man tax on men are just basically going to just laugh about that and lower their tax liability. Because the thing that women don't understand, and most Gen Zers, is that there are ways to completely remove your tax liability if you understand how the tax code works. That's the reason why the very wealthy amongst us really don't pay taxes. All those billionaires don't pay taxes. They pretend to pay taxes, but they don't pay taxes. It's all just a means. It's all a big show. Oh, Warren Buffett just paid half a $1 billion in taxes. Well, see that? He's paying his fair share, and he says everyone else should. That's total BS. That was just a show for him to make it look so that there's not a lot of so that there are fewer eyes on him. The reality is that what a lot of these people also do is they move their stocks over to like charities, which allows them to do things with that money that they would not usually be able to do. So now they can spend it on whatever they want to spend it on, and then they can turn around and make investments, other ways. So like it's a crazy way of doing business. The rich don't pay taxes. All right, they don't pay taxes. The wealthy do not pay taxes. Poor people pay taxes. All right. And if you learn how the tax code works, you can do some amazing things with real estate, finance, all of that. But that's something that men do. Most women don't have the time, or rather, they have time, but they do not have the drive to learn and continue learning how to actually make money because they see men as providers and protectors. But when you consider that come 2030, 45% of all women between the ages of 25 and 44 will be childless and single. And that's not counting single mothers. When you factor those in, the numbers are probably closer to 70 to 80% of all women. Women are going to be single. They're going to be struggling. There's going to be a lot of destitution, and you're going to have men becoming wealthy and living their best lives because they no longer have to give that portion of money to the women to take care of them, to subsidize their living of them and their children. Since men are walking away, now they're keeping all of that money for themselves. That man can live happily in a shoebox at the side of the road, so they don't have to worry about a lot of things anymore. And in fact, we know that single men have the longest lifespan. Single married men now have the longest lifespan of all groups of people. They have they're living longer. They're living longer, while fathers statistically have the worst hearts. There was a research study that came out recently which showed that fathers have the worst hearts. So if you don't get married, you don't have children, you focus on yourself, your own happiness, you're going to live longer, you're going to be happier. And for men who need physical intimacy, they're just going to use their hand, flick their wrist, and then they're done with that and can move on to something more pleasurable. What do you guys think regarding all of this? Society is trying to ban men going their own way, but it's not really going to work. These men are going to keep going on their own way. It's going to keep growing because it's, even without the acronym, it's just a natural thing for men to go their own way. Let me know your thoughts and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWM and walking away and chill.